Coming up tonight,
And a high fly ball.
the Phils just a win away from that all-important first-round bye.
Off the front of the second deck.
But they still got to figure out the bullpen.
I think we have one of the best bullpens this year, so let's go Phillies.
Plus, we'll dive into the crazy wild card races on both sides of the league.
Hey, bring on the Mets. Let them advance. Go Phils.
We're halfway through the week, but the fun's just getting started. What time is it?
It's time to get fantastic!
From FOX29 News, this is the Fantastic Sports Show, presented by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Welcome to the Fantastic Sports Show, a live look at Citizens Bank Park. The clouds are out. It's raining just a little bit.
They're going to get it
They got to get it in, and they got to get the win. They got to get the win. And I wonder if there's scoreboard watching as well as the wild card. Boy, it's wild here in the National League.
All you got to do is get one win, one Dodgers plus to get that first round bye. But other than that, 3 through 6 is wide open at this point.
All right, so Luzardo on the mound for the Phils. We'll talk Phils here, talk wild card. What else is coming up here,
Let's
Tom?
roll the on-deck open as we set you up for a fantastic Wednesday night. Bullpen woes again. Must be going into October, Jason. We're asking questions about the bullpen. As you said, it is a wild card race because right now there's a lot of spots open in both leagues. And where's that Philly grit? Eagles can't run the football, banged up front, and yet they're 3-0.
Are they playing with fire? They're on the stat sheet. It's not electric.
No, it's not. But 3-0, and this week the only matchup of undefeated teams: 3-0 Eagles, 3-0 Bucks.
Somebody said Joan Duran, who gave it up last night, is basically Kimbrel with a light show.
Is that spider kind of creeping into the playoffs?
What's happening here? I'm getting a little concerned. It hasn't been smooth sailing. So we'll discuss. Jeff Skversky is here. Be a part of our show. Fan cam video, selfie video, 215-915-FAN. Text it to that number or scan the QR code and upload your video. Be a part of our 6:30 new time slot, Fantastic Sports Show. Show. Did that make sense?
Show. Roll the break.
Bullpen has been a problem for years for this Phillies team, and we don't address it. And the fact that we are missing one of our starting pitchers in the playoffs, that being Zach Wheeler, I'm nervous for the postseason. I think if we do go to the World Series, if we do win this World Series, this has to be the year. This has to be the Phillies' year. If we're going to do it, it's this year. But the bullpen definitely does worry me.
Teeing it up here on the Fantastic Sports Show. You love the fact that Michael is from positive Philly, and you got nothing positive out of what he just had to say.
How typical.
Come
Jeff
on.
Skversky, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
What's happening, fellas?
Well, I'm already trying to use my crystal ball here to look at the Phils' future, okay? And what's this new playoff going to look like for them? Are they going to, this long layoff, because they're going to get it, what a magic number of 1. What's it look like? Are they going to be rusty? Is Trey going to be swinging out of the zone?
Boy, you're scared. If you're scared, get a dog.
I don't see it.
If you're scared, get a dog,
I will say, if
Jason.
they can get past the NL Division Series and they get hot in those 3 games, they have a really good chance to win the World Series. But that's what I'm skeptical about. What do you see? What's your crystal ball
This
show?
is a World Series team. It
On
has
paper.
been the last 3 years. What team is going to show up? We don't know. Nobody knows.
I know.
And there's the debate over that first round bye. It's all baloney. All the teams that had that first round bye last year, other than the Phillies, did just fine. What team's going to show up? We don't know. But this team should win a World Series, right?
Should.
They're built
on
for it.
paper. And Jeff, like last year, you go out in the first round when the Mets get hot and get you. So you had the bye last year. So if you're Rob Thompson and Dave Dombrowski, are you studying everything you did last year and saying, we'll tinker with this, we won't do that, we won't work out, we'll work out harder? Because there's going to be enormous pressure on this team based on what happened last season.
At the end of the day, this team just has to play. Just play. But the biggest concern to me is not all that other stuff. It's not even the bullpen. It's really the starting rotation because you don't have Zach Wheeler. Aaron Nola, what are you going to get from him? And then what? So Christopher Sanchez, he's been fantastic. What is going to happen with this rotation? Are they going to have a game or two? And then you talk about that lineup. So those are my really 1-2 concerns with this team. It's so hard to predict what's going to happen, obviously. But this Phillies team, look, they're the best team, in my opinion, in baseball. I think they're better than the Brewers.
Wow.
I do too.
This is the best team in baseball. But it is time to put up or shut up.
I know.
This Phillies team needs to win.
Because don't you agree, bigger picture, that if it doesn't happen this year, and it is an early exit, it's time to break up the band.
Well,
and it's time
to some degree.
But how would you even do that?
Well,
But
you
because
wouldn't
if
bring
you go
back
2 straight years quickly, obviously your nucleus isn't good
But
enough.
those contracts, there's nothing to do with those contracts.
Sure, well, it's not just you're not going to get rid of Harper and you're not going to get rid of Turner, but you've got to question then JT Realmuto.
Gone.
Is Castellanos
Gone.
here next year? Is
Trade.
Ranger Suarez here next year? You bring up Crawford. You start to bring the kids up. You start to bring up the
Would you
the
like
painters.
maybe they'll move the team? They should move.
Well, like is Alec Boehm here next year?
Let's talk about this postseason, all right? Before we start talking about next year, because they've already lost in your head. They've
Well,
already
I didn't
lost
say
this
that.
series.
Don't imply.
I don't know if baseball will allow this, but I have a great idea to stay fresh.
And that is-
Let the crowd in. Let the fans in during the workouts. Let them
Get the
be
atmosphere,
there
the vibe.
for like an inter-squad game. I don't know if baseball will allow that sort of thing, but Phillies fans would show up.
They're overthinking it. That's overthinking
Yeah.
it. This team, they're professional
It
baseball
just keeps
players.
the juju going.
I understand. And look, the Braves did that, I think, a couple years
they?
ago. Not with the fans, but they had these like mock games,
Yeah.
and they were doing. And the Phillies, I think, had umpires last year
yep.
during the bye and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. At the end of the day, if those bats and your stars go cold,
Yeah.
and the starters don't play well,
Yep.
it's over, right?
And so much of the playoffs, Jeff and JC is about, you mentioned starting pitching, but it's bullpens. And last night,
Yeah.
Duran coughs up his second save in 4 outings. Okay? And it's not only Duran coughing up his second in 4 outings, it's a bullpen. Robertson's been good. Wasn't good last night. Kerkering still scares me out there. And you know as well as I do, even if starting pitching's good, in the playoffs, you're going 5-6 innings.
Sure.
So you need 3 to 4 innings of relief pitching, and that's what scares. And look, to Dave Dombrowski's credit, it was Kimbrel, it was Estevez, and he went out and got a guy in Duran who's been lights out. You can't blame the back end right now. But it's the Robertsons, it's the Banks, it's the Kerkerings to get to that point.
But if you-
the Phillies want to know, wait, because of the bridge to Lidge.
But
they
if
don't
you
have that.
need, but my thing is, if you need those other guys, you're in trouble. My opinion, in the playoffs, you need your starters to go deep, and then in this case, you need Strahm and Duran, and that is it. If you're getting into a situation where you need Robertson to win you games, you're in big trouble.
Well, you need him to get to Duran.
Well,
but I don't think you need that. I think Tanner Banks has been pitched really well. Strahm has pitched really well. That's it. And then you get to Duran, and you're done. That is it. And by the way, look, think about this. I know collectively they have one of the worst ERAs in baseball as far as bullpen-wise, but when you look at this, they've only lost 3 games the entire year when trailing or when leading after 8. They've only blown 3 saves all year, right? So they've been great.
The starters going deep is old school baseball, and that game, I feel like last year the Dodgers had openers. The Mets did it. The Yankees did it. World Series teams did it.
5-6 innings is all you're getting. Let's go to Rob Thompson.
Rob
on the
Thompson.
bullpen.
Yesterday, I think Robbie was just rusty. He had 6 days off. Kirk, I think it's executing his slider. I talked about it last night after the game. He's just not getting a lot of swing and miss. So he's got to do a better job at that, and I know he will.
So you wonder rest or reps? What, as far as these,
Rust versus rust.
I mean, for these relievers, I don't know. I think they could use a couple days. We'll see what happens. All right, here's our go vote question of the. How concerned are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being we're doomed, 1 not at all. We're right in the middle. Up, we just went down a little bit. Starting to worry.
We're starting to teeter a little bit.
Yeah, you guys think that's fair for a 6? Or where are you?
I'm nowhere. I'm not even on the thing. I'm not
Wow.
worried about this team.
Wow.
Give me a team.
You're Switzerland here.
Well, wait till
Yeah.
I get to the Eagles, right? Like, what's there to worry about? Like, is there a team that's better in baseball than the Phillies right now?
Jeff, I agree with that, but what were you worried about at this point last year?
Nothing.
Exactly. What happened?
Everything.
I don't remember.
Short memory's good sometimes.
We'll be back with a little bit more wild card talk here. Eagles coming up as well. They're pretty banged up, it seems.
Yeah,
we
banged
found
up
out some
squad.
things. Yeah, so be a part of our show. You know how to do it. There it is. Back in a moment.
more concerned with the Phillies having to play the Mets than the Reds in the playoffs because they've had so many problems winning in New York all season long.
Not really concerned about either team. I think we have the Mets number now. And the Reds, they're a good team, but I think the Phillies got it over them.
John Kruk.
He's working on the playoff beard, too.
I know, but we don't have the Mets number. Until we beat them in the playoffs, we do not have the Mets number. I am deathly afraid of this team because they can catch lightning in the bottle. I mean, look at their lineup. It's stacked. And I find it even shocking that they were struggling for so long. I don't want to see Soto come in here. I don't want to see Pete Alonso come in here. Jeff, I know you're with me on this one.
And I don't want to see those Mets fans come in here and take over Citizens Bank Park, which happened a little bit earlier in the year. Remember some of those earlier series, especially at home? The Mets' best team in baseball until June 12th. If there's any team I'm scared of, it is the Mets. And the Mets, by the way, may not even get into the playoffs, but that is the team that I am deathly afraid of.
Here you go. Okay, so only 3 teams get in here. And right now, if the season ended, it's Cubs, Padres, Mets, with the Reds and Diamondbacks on the outside looking in. A lot to be determined here. I mean, a lot.
5 games to go. And so you look at the brackets, and so fans know out there, let's assume the Phillies get that number 2 seed and Milwaukee's the 1. The Dodgers will play the lowest wild card, which right now would be the Mets. So the Dodgers would play the Mets, the Reds, or the Diamondbacks.
Right.
The Cubs and Padres would play for the right to play the Brewers.
Repeat of the 1984 NLCS, because my brain is filled with useless facts. So go Reds, and I guess go Diamondbacks.
I don't want to play. The Reds pitching is sneaky good.
Yeah.
They in a short series, but they don't have the playoff experience, and I think you have to say that. And just so fans know out there, so I checked. The Mets finished with 2 at the Cubs, 3 at the Marlins.
Yeah.
The Reds play the Pirates for 2, 3 at the Brewers.
So they're away from Citi Field the rest of the season.
Correct.
Okay.
The Diamondbacks finished with the Dodgers and the Padres, and you really have to look and say, Jeff and Jason, what are those teams playing for? If the Brewers have locked up the 1 seed, if the Padres are in and they want to set their rotation for the postseason, who are they going to play in those games as those teams battle to get in?
I agree. And look, there could be some dangerous teams. We saw what the Mets did last year to the Phillies, and that was, questionably just embarrassing what happened to the Phillies last year, and the Mets got hot. Having said that, there is not a single team other than the Mets that I am afraid of in this playoff. And the second team I'm most afraid of is the Phillies. I'm actually afraid of the Phillies.
I know.
Are
Which
they going to
version?
show up and be the team we expect them? But I'm not afraid of the Brewers. I'm not afraid of
Not
the
even the
Reds or the
Diamondbacks?
Diamondbacks.
You're not thinking about 2 years ago? I'm not either.
No.
So Sunday has the potential then, if it comes down to the last game, and I'm sure it will in some ways. Every game starts at 3:05 on Sunday.
Correct.
Gotta love that.
Correct.
So you talk about a couch potato day with
You
the
can't
NFL.
scoreboard watch,
I mean, we're all just watching baseball.
Eagles,
There's not
Bucks
enough
at 1.
screens at
Yep.
my house for this.
And the American League is wide open as well. Has there been a bigger disappointment than what the Detroit Tigers have come down
Collapse.
the stretch?
And you wouldn't expect that from an A.J. Hinch team.
Well, it's like the Mets. It's kind of the opposite of what really what the Mets are doing right now when you look at what the Tigers are doing.
By the way, speaking of rooting against the Mets to keep them out, root against the Astros because that team always has the pedigree. I'd love to see them miss the playoffs.
Look at the job Cleveland has done this year, too, passing the Tigers. They lose their all-star closer, Clase, for the season.
Yeah, weird.
And they have caught the Detroit Tigers, who we conceded midseason were heading for the World Series with the best pitcher in baseball in Skubal.
And look, this wild card thing is great for baseball. It's exciting, but at the end of the day, I'm looking at the top teams in both leagues to say those teams are in the driver's seat to get to the World Series.
If you look at the NFL playoffs, so if you're a wild card team, you're a team coming to the link to play, you're not going to win the football game. In the playoffs, if you're a wild card and you get in, steal a game on the road, and suddenly the series shifts. You have home field, and you got a chance.
I will say baseball will have a major problem if a top seed goes down again after the layoff, after the bye. I think they're going to really have to consider changing the format if it happens again. It shouldn't be happening this way, and I know baseball is a different game, but let's just hope it's not the Phils.
But didn't Bryce Harper say the other day that he kind of thinks this is all baloney?
Yeah.
I mean, that they actually are looking forward to rest. Obviously, Harper's sick right now, so he'll take some extra rest. But look, at the end of the day, they're professional baseball players, and they could probably use an extra day. And I get it. It's about rhythm. It's about timing, consistency in baseball, more so than football. But look, they have to turn it on when it matters most, and that is to win that World Series.
The story for last year's playoffs was their approach was wrong. They were swinging out of the zone. We haven't really talked about the approach, the offensive approach this season with this team, so I have hope.
And the other guy that has to be mentioned is Trey Turner. The couple of extra days off will help the hamstring. But I'm telling you, Dave Dombrowski, Rob Thompson, all their analytics have to say, what did we do last year? We're not going to do that this year. We've got to have a different mindset, different focus to avoid what happened in 2024.
It's all on the hitters.
Agreed
right?
with you.
Like, it's all on the hitters.
No question.
And I like what Dombrowski did. He brought back Rob Thompson. He brought back really everybody and said, it's on the players. We have $300 million guys.
Yep.
Up and down this lineup, it is on you. I mean, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, really nobody really showed up in the playoffs against the Mets.
Nope.
It is on them to figure this out.
I will not blame Rob Thompson. We should write it on. I will not blame Topper if they lose over and over. Yes, because it's on the players.
You write that
Can
down
you
while I
sign
get people
that?
the phone
Yes.
number, please. 215-915-PH. Handwriting, spelling counts. Good job, buddy. 215-915-PHAN. Scan the QR code. It'll take you to our site to send us a selfie-style video. Your penmanship stinks. We're coming back.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't scare the birthday boy as I represent the Phillies here at the Magic Kingdom. The Birds will smoke the Buccaneers. Go Birds!
Michael is fired up as we go down the stretch talking Eagles and Bucks with Jeff Skversky. Eagles injury list did not look good today. Zach Bond did not practice. Adoree Jackson did not practice. And on IR, Nolan Smith and Jacorian Bennett. They are a banged-up secondary. Nolan Smith was your best pass rusher. He was your best pass rusher through 3 weeks. He is not there. Jalen Carter is not playing at the level he should. And this is a team in Tampa Bay with a very mobile quarterback in Baker Mayfield. You better be disciplined, and the Eagles are banged up going into it.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm just like, relax. With not just with that situation, but the overall just demeanor and feeling toward the Eagles.
Yep.
If I was from a different planet and somebody plunked me down at the game on Sunday, just listening to the crowd, and I knew nothing about football, let's just say that's the case, I would have felt as if the Eagles had never won a football game in their entire career. They've never won a game in franchise history, and they're the worst team ever, let alone a team that just won the Super Bowl. They just won the Super Bowl. They've won 19 of 20.
Right.
What's the problem?
I know.
They're 3-0.
Well, expectations have gone sky high with this team.
Can everyone take a deep breath?
All right, so I saw a stat today. It was like they have been outgained in each of the 3 games. They have been given up more first downs than they've earned. There's some things on the stat sheet that makes you say they got to clean that up because you can't play with fire this long. But this team grinds. They do it with talent and just grit. And I feel like they find a way. Now, you can't – they should have lost that game last – I mean, Jordan Davis blocked the game-winning kick. You can't count on that to happen every week. So they do have to clean things up. You got to get Saquon involved. This offensive line is not what it was last year. No. I don't know if these guys are banged up, but – or maybe the passing game isn't opening things up for the running game. Who knows? But you got to get Saquon. He's got to have a big game.
Look, teams are playing 8 guys up in the box. They're blitzing more than they did before. Saquon's numbers are down. And I've been listening to Nick Sirianni today. He said, yes, much like the career of Jason Martinez, we're all a work in progress.
Downward spiral.
Here's Nick Sirianni today.
I was big last year, though.
I know you were.
A lot of different things go into making any play work, run game, pass game, anything. So I wouldn't say there's one particular thing of it being efficient.
I think it could be due to a few things, but we just need to get to doing what we do best and finding, our bread and butter plays and getting to it and, and not always chasing things and making sure we're calling stuff that, we're really good at.
That's Cam Jurgens talking Eagles offensive line. I'm not sure he's 100%. Landon Dickerson does not look 100% right now. Good interior of the Bucs defense this week in Vita Vea to deal with. You know what? As you said, though, Jeff, all these injuries and the heat and everything else, why are the Eagles favored by 3.5?
Because they're the better team. They are a stacked team, in my opinion. And I get it. We know every single hole involved with this football team. Having said that, how many other teams would you rather have if they were your team? The Eagles are a Super Bowl contender. Let's not forget about that.
They'll be in the mix.
This team is a fantastic team. They haven't played to their potential. They know it. Nick Sirianni, he wasn't celebrating on Monday. He went right back to work trying to figure this out. Same with Jalen Hurts. But come on. I mean, they're 3-0. They are unbelievable in the red zone. What else?
2 years ago, we said this about this team. They were winning games ugly. The stat sheet didn't look good, and then we saw what happened 2 years ago.
But you
Things
said
kinda
the same
fell apart.
thing this time last year.
Right. Well, that's right. So it's like the Phillies, right? It's PTSD. You don't know what to expect. We've seen it before.
This was the game last year that they lost. Fell to 2-2, went to the bye week,
And
barely
turned it
beat the
around.
Browns, and won 19 out of 20 after that game.
Well, they
So
certainly have the talent. They have the roster for it. Jeff, hang out with us one more section. We're going to say goodbye right after this. Be a part of our show. Send us a fan cam from Disney if you want. Do it from your living room. We have a guy who sends it from bed every night. That's interesting as well. 215-915-FAN.
Final thoughts on the Fantastic
That doesn't
Sports
look
Show.
good.
Citizens Bank Park. Jason, an update, please.
Schwarber just doubled. Let's see if they can get a run home. Got to get off to a nice lead. 4 left, right? Or 5?
4 after
left.
tonight. 4 after tonight.
What do you think? They got to win 3 out of 5? What do you care?
I'm not
Does it-
worried. Again, I'm not worried about this Phillies team until October.
Listen to that.
I'm worried right now.
See you tomorrow.